All right, and we're back to talk about Mage War 1.1, which we've got right here. And I've got it in my favorite little cover. It's the Flexi View report cover. So it's got this cool little thing here where you can just like pull that off, and that's what attaches the pages. So it just goes into this little plastic thing here and it just locks in. So I've got like 30 pages. I got the full rule book, and it's a nice little thing. So Mage War 1.1, so much to go over. There were a ton of little fixes that got made, some abilities that got eliminated. I think the ones were DA Expel, Agility, both primary and world got removed, and there may have been one other thing, I think. But mostly a lot of stuff got added, and that's the cool stuff. So we've got kind of a new section of primary abilities that are board wipes. And this was after the power level of Mage War kind of rose up with these edits. And I realized that there needed to be this extra kind of aspect to it that, Magic the Gathering figured out years ago. But then after making the edits and actually tuning the power level correctly, I realized that, Mage War is now at about Pauper level in Magic. You could pretty much translate, and in fact I did translate, a number of Pauper decks into Mage War. I think the ones I made were Delver, then a version of Mono Black that has kind of a ATOG affinity-ish finisher, which is kind of weird, but how the two melded together. The card responsible is actually based on Gary, but it plays out, I think, more like Affinity. And then I also made Bogles. I made a Bogles deck. That was fun. And then I also made another one that I called the Deck of Many Threats, aka Purple Alert. And that was, the whole deck is themed around magical mishaps. And it is a very powerful deck, and it's very fun, but it's not really based on anything. Although I think it might play a little like Is It Blitz? But I'm not familiar enough with the deck. So the similarities end there. But Mage War 1.1 should be fully fixed, so no more infinite combos. And if you find anything, or if I find anything, please let me know. Those little edits will get made, but nothing major now needs to be fixed. Items were corrected, and there were a number of little wordings that I made sure to clear up. And so Mage War 1.1 is, the way I felt after I made these edits was kind of like I didn't realize that Mage War in the first version was incomplete until I'd made those edits. And looking at this here, we've got the table of contents of all of these abilities. There is just so much that you can do. You can give all these to cards, and making decks and playing is really fun. Not that it wasn't like before, but now knowing that actually the power level is correctly tuned, and that there aren't any kind of infinite combos or anything broken or anything costed weird, it's much better now. Some other major changes: the world abilities that are the bracket world abilities based on the primaries, all the ones that cost MP to activate actually had their activation costs reduced. So if you've made cards, that doesn't make anything obsolete for those. It's still, I think, 2 MP to give those to a card, but to activate it instead of 3, now it's 2. So let's see here. Shield is pay 2 MP to activate Shield. So you'll see we've got Shroud there, Strike, Ward. Those all cost 2 MP to activate. And they also still now cost 2. So those are really fun. And then I also finally added some special abilities for auras. Auras can now have some additional, cool things. And there's now more damage abilities. We've got just kind of like a basic. It's sort of a shock, but it only deals 1 damage because Mage War, the mechanics work differently than Magic. So you expect a damage spell to do more than one, but in Mage War, one damage that is as versatile as can be done to any target, whether it's a ally in play or a player, is much more effective in a game where the life total is based on the cards in your deck. So each damage is not only removing strategy and giving you less advantage further in the game, but also potentially getting you closer to a game loss. So that was very carefully regulated, but there is also a secondary ability that can op activate, and it can just do one damage, like just like the primary, and you can give that to any card, which is cool. Then, yeah, with the board wipes. So some of those were translated over just directly from Pauper. I think what's the Evan Carr's Justice, I think. So the effect here is deal 2 damage to each ally in play and each player, and that ability is called Discord, and it's 4 MP. So here are all the board wipes. So we've got Charge, Defend, Command, Mob, Patrol, Miasma, Eclipse, and Discord. And actually, you'll notice Miasma was switched. The world ability is now called Dread. So I think Miasma is the equivalent of nausea in Magic. And then Eclipse might be make obsolete. So yeah, those are really fun, and that really rounded out everything. So Mage War 1.1 is fantastic, and I really hope you have a lot of fun playing it. I definitely did not hit all of the edits that I've made. You'll need to read through and check everything and see all the new stuff. I've been working at this for a while, so I've even forgotten like some of the edits that may have been made. Like I made a whole list, but I don't even know if I caught everything. So, I mean, not like for the edits to be made, but I mean like to list them here to tell you. Let me just go through really quickly here. So, check out the new ability Growth. That's really fun. That's a primary. Missile is the damage primary. The secondary variant is Scorch. I added a new kind of buff spell, Poison, to give target ally Venom until end of turn, and it also gives it +1/+0. Definitely check out the new special abilities. The two ones that I think are ally pertinent or aura pertinent are Arch and Vital. Check those out. Some of the costs got changed for world abilities. So look at those now. Fortify, Sharpen, and Lord got reduced. And I think there was edits to Bubble, although I don't know if I already told you about the edits to Bubble. I made it more powerful to give it 2 instead of 1. You get 2 bubble tokens instead of 1. Same thing for Sentinel, that got upgraded as well. And then what previously was Miasma was renamed Dread. And yeah, I think that's most of it. Also, yeah, check out items, because some of the wording got cleaned up for that. So yeah, make sure you see that. And I'm pretty sure... Oh, okay. Here's a major thing that I really want to make sure I talked about. So I wanted Mage War, and I want Mage War, always moving forward, to be a competitive trading card game. Don't take the fact that you can play proxies, or whatever, effectively proxies, in this game to tournaments. This is a competitive game. I have designed it to be competitive. And to that end, I had to edit the how to play section for starting games. And that was because previously you looked at you cut your deck and looked at the bottom card to see what the highest cost was, to see who went first. And after looking at some more competitive games and looking at competitive rules, a lot closer, I realized that needed to be edited so you're not giving information either to your opponent or yourself before the game starts. And that just makes the game better. So now, in order to start the game, to choose who goes first, I think you just roll a six-sided die like in any other game, like Yu-Gi-Oh! Or I think Pokemon, or maybe Pokemon does coin flip. But Magic, you can do dice roll, coin flip, whatever you want. And so it's now the same here. And I've also added wording for your opponent always gets last cut. So yeah, that was all cleared up. And then I added a little more wording to the same effect in the competitive rules section for organizing tournaments and playing competitively. So then, yeah, I added some wording for tournament hosts if they want to designate judges, just to be clear with the rules, that they're free to do that. And they can also charge for entry and offer prize support if they want. None of those things are regulated by me. Those are all up to the people running the tournaments. But still, if you have any questions regarding rulings for the game, like mechanics or just rules questions, if you're if a judge reads through this rule book and still can't answer a question, then feel free to ask me, whether or not it's because they don't understand or because I've made the mistake of not including something. Please let me know. And oh yeah, I also added wording for during a tournament, your deck box may only include your chosen deck, its sideboard, and its 2 alignment cards. You may also include any counters and or tokens. Must clearly be counters tokens. So that ruling I found in a number of other card games, and I realized that was a good thing to add. So yeah, I just any little edits that needed to be made, I tried to find those and make those. So Mage War 1.1 is the best that it can possibly be. Hopefully no more edits need to be made until we can finally get to second edition, which hopefully won't be for too long because I don't want to, immediately put out second edition after first. I want to take a break and focus on some other stuff here in, getting people to play Mage War 1.1 and, before we start building up to second edition. But there are a number of things that I have planned for second edition, and very excited about that. But I really hope you enjoy Mage War 1.1, and if you have any thoughts, let me know. If you have any questions, comments, breaks in the game. I did not edit anything in the open letter except for, I think there was a typo where it said Ristic Studies and Studies wasn't capitalized, so I capitalized Ristic Studies properly. But I wanted to leave the open letter the exact same wording, even though I think part of it is incorrect, which I corrected in a video about conditional versus non-conditional applying to all cards. But I just thought it would be good to not change any of the wording in the open letter, even if it's incorrect, to leave it as is, and maybe in future editions I'll add like amendments below the letter to further add to, if I can maybe code, or I may just release a second book with all the different like universals and cost conventions for Magic the Gathering that will help you analyze it, and then the basic formulas for things like attack and defense or power and toughness, things like that. So I'll get to all that. And I know one of the commenters suggested starting with like a noob series and doing basic creatures first, like Savannah Lions, Grizzly Bears. Start off with Grizzly Bears, then work up to Savannah Lions, and kind of go from there and provide animations on the screen so you can see everything. And actually, for the Harmonious Archon video, for the I Broke Standard video, I wanted to have in the original filming an animation so you could see Harmonious Archon, and I could put up like the numbers on the card for all the costs and everything. But I tried editing that for days. I had multiple programs trying to figure out that problem, and nothing worked out. So I don't know how many animations on the screen for card analysis videos in the future, because I definitely do want to do like a noob series would be good, even if I stick to full sets from now on, which I'll probably do every now and again. Like if I find like, you know, a deck to build a card around, or a card to build a deck around. There we go. Then I may do a video like that again, like I did for Harmonious Archon. But yeah, I think I just want to stick to sets and then try to do the noob series. And without animations, I don't know how, but I'll try to do my best. Always try my best. And yeah, sorry if it's a little low quality sometimes, a little raw, but I hope you appreciate the hard work. Hope you got to play the Harmonious Garden deck. And if you are interested in Mage War, it's free download. This is the PDF that I just printed out and stuck in this binder here, and this is awesome. This'll serve you for, take good care of it, probably years. No need to buy the hardcover if you don't want to. The hardcover currently is not available because it's waiting on approval from the printer, so that'll take a little while to cycle through their system before I can get it up available for sale again. But that's fine. For now, you can still get the free PDF of Mage War 1.1. It is available now. And I think that's it. Thanks for watching. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Leave a comment below. Catch you later.